Hello and welcome back to Princess Evangile. It can't be! She pushed me aside and tried her hand at the door. But even with all our strength behind it, it still wouldn't open. I must have warped due to the earthquake. It was a pretty big one after all. Hey! I yelled as loud as I could and banged on the door. I strained my ears and remained silent for about a minute. I couldn't sense anyone outside. Oh damn. The bath is on the edge of the building, and this is after normal bathing hours, so the teachers probably won't be coming back to check this area. Yeah, you're probably right. It occurred to me that Konomi-chan was hugging herself and trembling. Are you cold? Konomi-chan shook her head. I'm scared. Oh, I see. Look, I'm here with you. I didn't expect that to be of much comfort, but to my surprise, Konomi-chan moved over to cling to me. I'm sorry, but please let me do this. Sure. Here in the dark, with our bodies close together, the sensation was even more stimulating than before. There was nothing arousing about the situation. On the contrary, I knew that I had to be strong. Konomi-chan will pick on any signs of fear that I show. I took her by the hand and led her over to the wall. Look, we'll get tired if we stay standing. Let's sit down. I sat down first, and Konomi-chan sat next to me, her body continuing to tremble. I'm sorry. You don't have to apologize. Well, we have plenty of water. A human being can live in a whole week with just water alone, so there's nothing to worry about. Oh, don't say scary things like that. Look, joking aside, help will come soon. The night can't last forever. Right? In the silence, I was even more conscious of the sounds of the bath, and the steady drip, drip from the ceiling. But more than anything, there was the breathing right beside me. As my eyes adjusted to the dark, I could see that Konomi-chan was visibly stiff. What do you do with the lights when it's time to sleep? I decided it was best to talk, no matter what about. I leave my desk light on. Keeps me calm. I see. Personally, I can't sleep unless it's pitch black. My grandmother taught me that it's best to have a light on, so that you can react even in the event of a night raid. Who would be running a night raid on you? I don't know, but still. Look, besides, if they were really serious, they'd probably just pull out the plug first. Oh, don't say awful things like that. You're an interesting person, Konomi-chan. Why are you laughing? I've never met a girl who's worried about night raids before. I'm not very girlish at all. I don't think that's true. The title of Mignon Poupée, it really doesn't suit me. It suits you. Trust me, it really does. Before now, she appeared unhappy when I insisted on that point, but well, this time she almost seemed to like it. Is your grandmother the one who taught you the Ningara? Yes. She thought it would help me protect myself. I started prompting her to tell me more about her childhood, and as she spoke, I could tell that the tension was draining from her. The tension was apparently replaced by exhaustion, and she attempted to stifle a yawn. I turned my eyes towards the changing room. Things looked pretty much the same there. The door probably wasn't going to open. Sleepy? Yes, a little. I think this would normally be my bedtime. You can sleep then. You can't stay up all night after all. I'm sleepy, but I don't know if I can sleep. I really am afraid of the dark. And I'll stay up until you go to sleep. Sort of the opposite of how it was in the classroom. Don't know if that means anything to you, though. Well, are you certain? I am. Konomi-chan's expression relaxed as she rested her head on my shoulder. I wasn't prepared for her to go quite that far, and I did find my heart pounding a bit. It seemed that Konomi-chan had spent the whole day going from one sort of tension to another. But she finally began producing noises of peaceful sleep. She really must have been exhausted. Ever since the teaching started, her mind had been constantly engaged. Even in their state of dress, it was warm inside the bath, and once she was fast asleep, I felt my own eyelids grow heavy. I wonder if I passed the test. We'd gone through all that, and I still don't know if I'd passed or failed. Ah well, anyway. The echoes of the bath and the pleasant warmth against my skin slowly pulled me into unconsciousness. Ah. Oh, the lights are on. The light was on outside the windows too. Oh. Kenobi began to yawn, but quickly covered it with her hand. That was the most basic of dinner Velas's etiquette. Normally, she woke up quickly, but now her sleepiness lingered. Of course, the environment was hardly conducive to sound sleep, even though she wasn't as uncomfortable as she expected to be, despite sleeping in the dark. I wonder why? She heard a voice beside her and she turned around quickly. Oh, that's right. Sir Summer's here. And she noticed a mark on her shoulder from where she had rested her head and flushed. What was I thinking? Oh, that's right. Speaking of marks. She turned Messias over and looked at his back, but he remained fast asleep. Oh. The burn wasn't inflamed and even the redness had gone. With that concern past, she turned her attention to the scar. How on earth did he get an injury like this? Messias said he had no memory of it, and he didn't seem to be lying either. But either way, this scar is definitely... Like a butterfly to nectar, she placed her finger to the scar. Ah! My eyes flooded open and I blinked a few times, and the room grew lighter around me. Oh! Oh, the lights are back on. What time is it? What's wrong? Kenobi-chan turned away, an even deeper red. Nothing, I'm gonna wash my face. Ah, sure. I decided to wash up too. As I stood, I felt a stinging near the back of my muscles. Oh, so tired. I was better rested than I thought I'd be, but it was no substitute for an actual bed. Hang on. If she's gargling, I'm gonna do this properly. I'd washed up and then started gargling when I saw someone enter the changing room. Yeah! Messias-sama, you drink a gargle water? I'm shocked. No, it's not that. I indicated the door with my chin. Ah! Ah, it won't open. We were thinking it might have warped from the earthquake last night. Huh? Ah? Is that Okunogi Masaya-kun? Yes. And there's someone else. What are you two doing in there? Huh? Oh, whoops. I forgot to consider how someone might interpret this situation. And you're naked! How improper! We're in bathing suits, actually. You think that makes a difference? Made a big difference, actually, but I guess it didn't make the suspicion any less, well, suspicious. Oh, God, I'm gonna get expelled at this rate. Wait a minute, Katua-sensei? Is that Kenomi? Are you alright? There is no problem whatsoever. Huh? Messias-sama is not a Tyrannosaur serpent. He kept me safe all night long. You do understand what you're saying? Huh? You said all night long. What were you two doing in the bath to begin with? Well, it's my fault. Huh? I gave Kenomi a chin wink. I wanted to try out the public bath. Figured it'd be okay if I did it at night wearing a swimsuit. But then Kenomi showed up too. I think she wanted to practice her dog paddle. Dog paddle? I winked desperately at her. Yes, that's right. Summer's near and... Well, I thought it would be acceptable to try it when no one was here. And that's why you're wearing a swimsuit. Yes? I see. Anyway, we need to get that door open. I'll expect you to explain again then. With the teacher gone, we let out a sigh of relief. I lied to a teacher? I've never lied to a teacher before. Ah, that's okay. Little white knuckle lies are a pretty natural part of the student life. That is true. Ah. It was the first time Kenomi-chan had ever smiled naturally at me. What is it? Nothing. The teacher was back. Of course, if I finished reading the line. The teacher was back with a few other people in tow. And as the amateur carpenters went at it outside, I spoke up. So, did I pass the test? Yes. Don't worry, you passed. I'm glad. That, I'm assuming, is probably the end of that. No? I figured that would be the end of that chapter. Regardless of anything else, we'd broken the rules, and, well, we got a good scolding before class began. And when we were finally free from the tongue lashing and out in the hallway, we shared a smile. A smile of accomplices. Konomi-chan and I were partners in crime. When I thought about it that way, the tongue lashing really didn't seem so bad. You're yawning an awful lot today. Yeah, well, I'm pretty sleepy. No one else seemed to know what had happened. The teachers must have kept the information fairly tightly under wraps. I guess the earthquake woke me up. Oh, the one from last night? Yeah, it was quite large. It surprised me too. Myself as well. Handlewell was so frightened he began crying. The earthquake caused all the power to go off last night. Though I suppose most of us had retired by then. But what about the goods in the refrigerators? That's the one thing I'm worried about. That's a good point. I believe the school has generators that activate automatically during an emergency. I'm sure they're fine. How? Really? Yes. Are generators so unusual? No, it's not that. It just surprised me since, well, power in the baths had gone off. Of course I didn't say that. I just said the lights in my room weren't working. The generators are only used to power the most important utilities, like the refrigerators. Oh, I see. After lunch, we all had tea together. Konomi isn't coming today. It seems she's not. Do you need her for something? Nothing like that. I just wondered if her training from yesterday paid off. Training? Just call it education. I guess I should. What are you talking about? We decided to teach Konomi, Masaya-kun and I. And what do you think we taught her? I have no idea. Oh, come on, that's no fun. I have no idea what it could be. It's a curious combination, though. Did the two of you serve as the teachers? Well, I was kind of superfluous. Masaya-kun was the real star. As for what we were teaching her, Ayaka-san took a dramatic pause and then grinned. Sex education. Huh? Oh my. Ritsuko-chan, who had previously shown no interest in the subject, now appeared shocked, and her eyes went wide. Sex education? Oh, come on, remember how you had to apologise for her 2 nights ago? Because Konomi kept saying those weird things? That's true, but that's why. Sex education. Thought it would be best if we had Masaya-kun there to act out examples. What? Act out examples? Please stop lying. I decided to explain. Look, there was no acting out of examples. I read from the textbook. Well, I see. It gave me quite a shock. Oh, but you taught her a lot of things about boys. Like about your first shot. I didn't teach her that. That was a slip of the tongue. First shot? First shot of what? Means his first ejaculation. I wondered how we even got onto this subject in the middle of the afternoon. Didn't exactly seem like polite tea time conversation. I felt very aware of my crotch all of a sudden and I quickly closed my knees. So, how old were you? Look, why do I have to talk about this? He has a point. Everyone went strangely quiet and only Ayaka-san seemed perfectly at ease and continued. Anyway, at the end of the day I wasn't sure if she understood or not. How'd it turn out? Why are you asking Masaya-sama? Huh? You taught her together, didn't you? Well, yeah, more or less. Huh? Well, she seemed like she understood, but... I see. Then teaching her was worth it. It seemed like Ayaka-san really was worried about Konomi-chan. And she certainly liked to make jokes, but it was good to see that there were some things she cared about, and that she did take those things seriously. That looks like Konomi now. Ritsuko-chan raised her hand, and Konomi-chan walked towards us a bit more quickly. Salutations? Salutations. You're a bit late today. Yes, I wanted to see Masaya-sama in advance, but he'd already left his classroom. Why me? The others looked on in suspicion. There was one thing I wanted to tell you clearly. What is it? I'm gonna stop referring to you as the Tarantator Serpent. Good, because I'm getting embarrassed by how badly I'm mispronouncing that word. Oh, I appreciate that. I understand now that that's definitely not what you are. That said, you're not a saint, and I recognise that you're just a regular boy. Which means there's no reason to force expulsion from the school. Oh. I never thought I'd hear those words coming from Konomi-chan's lips. However, I am an affiliate of the Red Rose Society, and its leader is my Wanasama, and my determination to see a Red Rose Society victory hasn't changed in the slightest. Gotcha. I had a feeling that that would be the case. But why so suddenly? What happened between the two of you? The information hadn't got out yet, but while I was choosing my words, Konomi-chan just spoke up offhandedly. We had a naked date? Huh? What? Excuse me? Oh my. That's how I came to my realization. Masaya-sama does not feel sexual arousal towards me, and he's... Sorry, duh. Let's take this line from the top, shall we, people? That's how I came to my realization. Masaya-sama does feel sexual arousal towards me, and he's a normal boy in that respect. I let out a pitiful noise, but Konomi-chan continued without seeming to notice. However, I witnessed no change down there, so I believe that he's safe. What are you even talking about? Ayaka-sama's face had frozen in an expression that almost looked like laughter. Huh? At last she noticed the group's dumbfounded reaction, and her cheeks turned bright red. Oh, I'm sorry. We spent so much time last night talking about sexual arousal that I... Konomi-chan just... Ah, right. Regardless, Wanasama, I've cleared up my doubts regarding the Tyrannosaur Serpent. You have no further need to be on your guard. I... see. Ritsuko-chan nodded hesitantly in response to Konomi-chan's proclamation. Isn't Easter a bit pissed? What is all this? It's like the area around Rai-san and Chiyo-san is becoming superheated. Oh, look at the time, I should be going now. Salutations. I'll join you. Ritsuko-chan stood up, looking slightly panicked. As will I. The others quickly disappeared, leaving only the White Lily Society members behind. Well, I should be going. Wait. Just a moment. I felt a tight grip on both my arms. For such delicate girls, they were surprisingly strong. What is it? You still have some explaining to do. That's right. Masaya! Rai-san and Chiyo-san slowly turned towards me, and their faces were bowed so I couldn't see their expressions, but I could tell they were frightening. And then they both drew towards me. I could feel violent pressure drawing near, and I stood up to run, but they held my arms tightly. What was she talking about? Explain yourself at once! I wanted to explain, I really did, but, well, the tight grip around my neck made it rather impossible. Is every chapter going to end like this? Because the last couple have. And that's the end of chapter 7. The example of the Good Samaritan. Actually, I love the Mitchell and Webb take on the story The Good Samaritan, where it's actually really racist, for the simple reason that it assumes that all Samaritans are dicks, and therefore it's very unusual that there's a good one. Yeah, so it's not a parable about how we can expect goodness from unexpected places, it's just a parable about how Samaritans are dicks. On Monday after class, we gathered as usual and checked the new approval rankings. It's a big increase this week. Here, look at it. Wow, you're right. I wonder why. Perhaps the others are slowly beginning to go mad for Masaya-san's masculine appeal. Masculine? Pantabelle is warming to you as well. Coo! Pantabelle is a girl? Well, he might be a boy. I'm pretty sure no one's going mad for him. Have you been doing good deeds while we weren't watching? Not especially. Then it must be... Chiyo and I tilted our heads in unison. Maybe because of Konomi's softening towards him. What? Me? The story of your exploits in the bath were in the newspaper after all. Tammy-san had somehow heard what Konomi-chan said in Maria Hall, and I got to give her an interview. Of course I warned Konomi-chan not to reveal the whole truth, but people still knew that we'd taken a bath together. I thought it might lower my approval rating. I was surprised when it had the opposite effect. In addition, the article said that you saw him in a new light, and there are many people who were influenced by those words. All I meant by that was that I no longer consider him to be a tentator serpent, but that's all. And that sounds like seeing him in a new light to me. Maybe. There's nothing to be upset about. It's better than needlessly forcing yourself to hate him. But I don't think I'm really influential at all. Oh, but you are, right? The others nodded their agreement. One way or another, you were considered the leader of the anti-Masaya Sama movement. They were likely shocked by your change of opinion. I see. Yep, that's exactly it. Tami-san appeared out of nowhere, and as usual, she was invisible until she didn't want to be. Even I was shocked, but as I was giving the interview, I was like, is this really Konami I'm talking to? Are you sure nothing's happened back there? I mean, aside from him protecting you from the hot water? What are you talking about? Well, you know, like, Basie? Okay, what the hell does that mean? To kiss or to make love, gotcha. Well, you know, like Basie or something? How can you say that? Of course it was nothing like that. Maybe that had been the cause of Konami-chan's change in opinion, and the others were re-evaluating their opinions of me. Of course I hadn't done it to look good in the newspaper, and the thought hadn't crossed my mind for a second. Well, okay. Anyway, I can tell you that the night alone together really brought you two closer. Yes, well, yes. Konami-chan turned her eyes to me and smiled shyly. I thought it was very cute. For the record, you three have the right idea. You should be giving him glares for that. I could feel all eyes upon me. Anyway, Wanasama, everyone, there is one thing I wish you to remember. This doesn't change my standing as a Red Rose Society officiate, just as I stated the other day. Of course. The Student Council. Wanasama, here are Masaya-san's most recent approval ratings. Thank you. My, how amazing. It's a sizable increase. Yes, at this rate he just might pass the premier judgment. Yes. Marika had said before that if Masaya was a righteous man, she would not seek to drive him out. And Mitsuko was moved once again by Mitsuki's incredible integrity. At the same time, she felt inadequate in the face of it. Of course, Mitsuki herself felt no particular animosity towards Masaya either. Of course, I feel no particular confidence that he is a righteous man either, but that is a separate matter. If the others all come to accept him, then I see no reason to oppose him. I see. Yes. No matter what else, the Student Council will remain neutral. Yes, ma'am. Anyway, I'll continue to monitor him until the end of the first term. Please do. Grandmother. This is Marika. I'm calling in regards to Masaya-kun. Yes, that's right, the one who entered our school to serve as a sample. He may be a righteous man. The others are gradually coming to accept him. Yes. Yes, I wanted to tell you that this may not end as you foresaw. What? Entrapment? Forgery? Grandmother, can you be serious? Yes, I understand that, but... It can't be. Such actions cannot possibly be righteous. Grandmother, why? Okay, so who the heck's her grandmother? Change of season! Sorry. The morning was unexpectedly hot and muggy, and I found myself up earlier than usual. I ate an early breakfast and headed for the main school building. Despite the early hour, there were a few students here and there, probably doing early morning exercises. But looking around, I could tell that something was off. What's going on? Oh, it's Ritsuko-chan. Something about her was off too, but that wasn't what drew my attention. It was the fact she'd gone into the cathedral. I'd met her in the cathedral before, when Ayaka-san lured me there using Plenipotentiary's letter. That's right, I wondered about it that time too. What was she doing in there? Technically I knew what she was doing, she was praying. But what I wanted to know was, why was she praying? Is Ritsuko-chan a Christian? I recall hearing that despite Venice's being started as a mission, very few of the students were actually Christian. I decided that I should go talk to her, so I followed her in. The start of classes was still a long way off, and the cathedral itself was silent and empty. And alone in the cathedral, Ritsuko-chan stood, praying before the altar, and it was truly picturesque. Not wanting to interrupt her, I waited in silence, and after about 5 minutes she turned around. So it was you, Messiah Sama. Morning. Salutations. Messiah Sama, are you interested in the cathedral? No, it's just that I saw you go in here. Me? I ended up waking up early today. Decided to head to school early. Oh, that's it. I get it now. Huh? I was thinking there was something off about everyone. It's the short sleeves. Yes. We begin wearing our summer uniforms today. That's right. It was June the 1st. I wonder what I should do. Wear a short-sleeved button-down shirt to match the rest of you? Messiah Sama, I believe you should do whatever makes you comfortable. When we first met, her expression had always been thorny, but lately I was seeing her smile a lot more, and I was happy to see it. I don't believe that the teachers will scold you. I see. Well, I guess I'll switch to short sleeves if it gets too hot then. Incidentally, I see that you have not stopped addressing me as Chan. Oh, yeah, sorry, I can't get used to it. Is that bad? Yes, it is. Really? However, it may be natural for people on the outside to refer to their juniors that way. Therefore, I have given up on being addressed any other way. I see. But although she was smiling at me more often now, it was still very strict. Anyway, you have interest in the cathedral then? Ritsuko-chan cast a glance around her. Unlike the other buildings on the grounds, this one has never been rebuilt since its founding. This Gothic-style construction was considered cutting-edge during the Meiji period. There are very few buildings like this in the country. It's been designated an important cultural property. Wow, I never knew. I was honestly impressed. This was probably my first time visiting a cultural property. So naturally it cannot be rebuilt. That said, it's already compliant with earthquake code, so there's no need to rebuild it either. The teachers sometimes joke with each other, but we really could open the cathedral to the public, charge admission. Now that you mention it, it's beautiful in here. From the way that you're speaking, I can assume that you didn't really come here to look at the cathedral. Yeah, I happened to see you, Ritsuku, so you do not need to force yourself. But why then? Eh? Why did you come inside? Just because you happened to see me? It was because I'd wanted to talk to her, but well, it was hard to answer when she asked me like that. Oh, that's right. Ritsuko-chan, are you a Christian by chance? Not that there's anything wrong with that, I'm just curious. I am not a believer. I see. But I saw you praying here before too. I placed my hands together, mimicking her. She didn't answer immediately, and I wondered if I'd touched on a sensitive subject. Well, anyway, it has a nice atmosphere. I can understand wanting to come here. Yes, that is true. I do come here every morning. Every morning? Wow. I was a little surprised to hear that, but Ritsuko-chan continued sincerely. Coming to the cathedral, putting my hands together, it calms my spirit. The same is true for the Gospels. She opened the book in her hand and began flipping through the pages. Now, I'd been wondering what it was, so it was a Bible after all. Reading them calms my spirit as well. Even though I'm not truly a believer, there are verses that resonate with me. Well, they do say it's the best-selling book in the world. Have you read it before, Messiah Sama? No, not yet. The teachers are always telling me to, but compared to chapters like Leviticus from the Old Testament, it's very easy to read. I recommend it. Oh, okay. Though I had no idea what Leviticus from the Old Testament was either. I do! Leviticus is full of complete and utter weirdness. No offense to your religious beliefs if you have them, but let's face it, Leviticus is a bit weird. Well then, salutations. Ritsuko-chan, wait a minute. Yes? Look, I know it's a bit late, but I was hoping to ask you again. Are you still against school reform? Of course I am. But you didn't choose to become the leader of the Red Rose Society, did you? That is true, but... Right. So then why? It's true that it was not my choice to lead the society, and if I am honest, I still believe I am unfit for the role. But that is neither here nor there. I am personally opposed to the subject of reform. I see. I should have guessed that, but I still felt disappointed for some reason. And we may find out what that reason is in the next part, but until then, thank you very much for watching, I will see you in the next part.